Yeah.
I'm back, beesh. Hey everybody. Okay, so we're going to dive in and just get into these Arteza acrylic markers. We got 40 different marker colors: quick drying, low odor ink, water-based, UV resistant, blendable, and acid-free. Just to let you all know, I am not sponsored by Arteza. They did give me these acrylic markers for free in exchange for my totally honest review, and that's what y'all are gonna get. Also, hi, love you, missed you. Let's get on to the review. So it comes in a plastic packaging. I'm just gonna try to get this open. Okay, y'all, I've been so excited to dive into these. Look at all these colors. So they're all kind of in this little tray where these markers sit in. So they kind of jostle it around a little bit. Pretty much stays put, which is kind of cool. So let's just take out a marker and give it a test run, shall we? This is a typical Arteza acrylic marker. Labels on it, tells you the number, magenta, and then it tells you instructions to shake, you pump, and you draw. I don't know if you can see this, you can actually see the paint in the well here. This is actually where it's housed. You got some tweezers, and then you got these replaceable tips. So you can replace the tips anytime as you go, which is a huge plus compared to the oil-based paint markers that I reviewed from Arteza. This is your typical tip. You got the pointed tip, and you got a chisel tip. So you can interchange those. And then of course you can just always go with the rounded tip. And I'm just gonna pull it out. Oh, okay, cool. It also has fine tip as well. Let's just play with the fine tip part of this. It feels like there's like nothing in here, to be honest. I'm just gonna grab a little piece of canvas paper and we're just gonna give this a shot. We have to pump, so whoop. Oh, shoot. Okay. I just messed up my tip, so don't use your fine tip to push the marker, I guess. So we're gonna switch back to the broad tip. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I gotta shake first. I'm doing this all wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Anything coming out? Slowly starting to reveal itself. Come on, buddy. There we go. Let's just do some playing around. We got some great coverage. Cool. I'm just going to place the tip here. Very good call on using tweezers to do this because you can really get yourself into a mess. So this is a fine tip. Nice, the flow is really good. Now let's try the chisel tip. Pump again, fill up that tip. Oh my god. Y'all, if you want to work out, I got just the thing for you. Alright, we're almost there. Alright, cool. So this is the chisel tip. Test that out. Chisel. Nice. Got a pretty good feel to it. Yeah, you can do some pretty nice angles. Curious as to how this blends together with other colors, so let's get on that. So we got this yellow color here. This is the lemon yellow. We got yellow, and we're gonna put it on in with the magenta. And is it blending at all? Sort of. I'm guessing that because we did this after the paint dried, it's not going to blend very well, which is very true with acrylic paints in general. Maybe if we work them both at the same time, what is going to happen? So I'm just going to lay down this color first, and then we're going to do this color. Oh, I see you. So we're blending a little bit. So I can see this being like a situation where you do multiple layers. So it kind of carries the color out this way and that way, and you do get remnants of that other color on your tip. So I'm just gonna try to clean that off. Yeah, so the more layers I'm adding, the better I can make that blend look. Let's try something else. Grab some water and a brush. Just want to test something really quick and see what happens. So I'm just going over the area that I previously just painted. This is starting to make like a nicer blend because I'm adding a little bit of more water to it just to help it along. And now that I've knocked myself out with playing with these for a little bit, it was time to do an opacity test. I just made a couple of black lines and decided to start to use all of those markers and pump each and every single one of them. Yo, if you've ever had to pump 40 markers, that is a hell of a workout, let me tell you something. This was a great opportunity for me to see what these markers can do in terms of their opacity level, how many layers would be required, and it's a really good way to compare swatches and see what colors I'm really dealing with. Done. the yellows and the greens and some of the lighter blues and pinks, those are pretty transparent, so those are going to require a couple of layers on our part. But you can definitely see these purples here. You can barely see that line in the back, so they're really, really nice and opaque. So now that I've completed the initial testing for these acrylic bad boys, it is time to put them through the ultimate test. Painting on canvas. I decided to go with Arteza's 11x14 canvas paper, which I had previously reviewed and I really, really liked. I had already sketched out my subject and had transferred it using tracing paper and a carbon pencil. If you want to see how I did that in full detail, you can check out my video in the description below. And then I just went to town and I had an idea that I wanted to do kind of like a rainbow background, really just display the prowess of these colors and just how vibrant they are. And y'all, I gotta say, these colors really are bright, they stand out, and they flow really, really well. And while I was in the middle of working on my project, I needed to have the chief art director take a look at the progress and make sure everything was fine. She approved. But y'all, I have to say, the flow of these markers and the way that they went down on paper was just really, really pleasant, and they dried really, really fast. While it's not the best environment for blending, it really does have some advantages in terms of getting colors on fast without having to use water, which I do really like. So just looking at the first layer here, it's pretty streaky. I'm going to see if I can do a couple more layers of the same colors to see what would happen. The less opaque it is, the more you'll be able to see streaks. So that's going to have to involve multiple layers like we predicted. Gotten a little better. I still have to do more layers, obviously, to get rid of these streaks. Yeah, it's coming along. It's not my favorite thing, but it's coming along. And now comes my favorite part, which is adding the detail lines and putting that into our character. So I decided to use that very dark purple to make my outlines using that detail tip. And wow, the paint on that detail tip is it just literally comes out like water. It is so incredibly smooth. I really, really had a great time just being versatile with this medium. The one thing I do have to say that I wasn't too crazy about was the more I used it, the more I was kind of like destroying my tip. Even though I was pumping and trying my best to make the acrylic flow out as best as I could, it just wasn't really great when you're using a lot of force. And maybe that's just me and not being used to using markers all the time, but yeah, it was something that I wasn't that happy about, and of course that's why we have those extra tips. So I'm really glad that Arteza does give us those extra tips, because I can totally understand why we would need that. I decided to do a couple of embellishments just to see if colors can be layered on top of each other, like white on black and whatnot, and I can see that they actually do shine through very, very well, and that was something I was really pleasantly surprised with. Acrylic dries so quickly, I don't have to, there was very little chance of smudging, which was awesome. I wanted to take away the white lines that I had previously placed, so I just went back in with the same colors, and boom, it covers really, really well. Love it. The letters here are a little higher up. I just wanted to test another part of these markers, which is applying layers on top and then redoing sections. We're gonna see if we can just make some of these letters go down a little bit more and see how that all kind of works together. It's still kind of apparent, but the more layers I can add takes it out pretty quickly. I gotta hand it to Arteza. They really did a pretty decent job with these acrylic markers. And as I was rounding the finish line on this painting, I just wanted to add a couple more little embellishments here and there, starting with the gold metallic acrylic marker. This was just my way to work with the blends a little bit more, and I was starting to get the hang of it, so it does create this really, really good, cool looking unicorn horn. I accidentally flicked the gold pen, and some flecks of paint came right off of it onto the canvas, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. So I basically just shook my pen cap open on top of the canvas, and just the drips fell where they went. A little help here and there with my tip. But y'all, I'm kind of impressed with how this came out. Like, I wasn't expecting something that came from an acrylic marker to look this good. So in terms of my opinion about using acrylic markers, I say yes, they're really fun, really versatile, very easy, very minimal cleanup. That was a big one for me. So when it comes to my overall opinion about these Arteza acrylic markers, I'd give them a thumbs up. So if you guys are interested in giving these markers a try, I will include my affiliate link in the description below. If you happen to use my link to purchase anything, I will get a small little tiny commission from that. So if you just want to send me a tiny thank you for reviewing these markers and giving my arm a very sufficient workout, be sure to use that link. And y'all, it's good to be back. We are not in my regular studio right now. This is just my interim studio. I'm in the first floor of our house. Robin has now taken the main studio and I've transferred all of my stuff back into the basement where we first started all those years ago. So we are in constant flux, my dear, wonderful, beautiful queen bees. I have missed you all. I'm glad to be back making more art for y'all. If you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a like and to subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button, you know what to do, so that you can have fun watching more art videos, get inspired, and just love yourself in the process, baby. Alright, with that being said, I need a major nap because I'm a mommy now and mommies don't sleep. So with that, I will see you all next time. Bye!